You have some very enthusiastic fans in the front here.
Great, that's great. I paid him. I've hired him. In India we do that. Just to feed our egos.
Welcome.
Thank you.
It's so exciting to have you here, and it's such a treat. I've been hearing a great deal from your fans over the last little while since it was announced that I'd be hosting this, and people are really excited. So I'm going to start by taking us back quite a ways.
Okay, great.
Your father, Anil Kapoor, was a film producer and an assistant director, and so I wonder, growing up around that, if it was predestined or if it was your fate to work in the film business.
I think it was predestined. Predestined because that's what from the time I came into my senses, I just heard about films and movies, and my father was involved in one of the biggest hits ever. There's no film. He was an assistant director, but there's no film till today in the history of Indian films which has surpassed that film, and the film was Mughal-e-Azam.
Yes.
He was an assistant, and that's the story. It was 10 years in the making. 10 years in the making, and he was an assistant in that film for 10 years. And there was Dilip Kumar and the great K. Asif had directed the film. If you all have not seen the film, over here, you all must watch Mughal-e-Azam. It's a classic, great film.
And what was your relationship with film in the house? Did your dad talk about it? Did you go on film sets when you were young? Did you?
A relationship with film? How can you ask me about a relationship? Films was, it's breathing films. We used to breathe films. There was nothing else but films.
Right.
It was food and films.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And, every day he spoke about the great actors and about the films and the kind of sets being put up and all kinds of things. My dad was used to, after Mughal-e-Azam, he became an agent or a secretary to a few of the, actors. Prithviraj Kapoor was acting in that film. He is like the grandfather of all the great actors now today present, like great grandfather of Ranbir Kapoor, Karishma Kapoor, Kareena Kapoor. I'm mentioning these children because I think people are aware of those, and of course father of Shami Kapoor, Shashi Kapoor, and Raj Kapoor.
Right.
So Prithviraj Kapoor is the one who, because of him, my father was introduced to Shami Kapoor, and my father then started working for Shami Kapoor as his assistant.
Right. And you have said that your two big influences, acting-wise, on the screen-wise, were Raj Kapoor and Charlie Chaplin.
Absolutely, absolutely, because of the mustache. Mustache, that's Raj Kapoor had a mustache and Charlie Chaplin had a mustache, and I have a mustache.
Well, it becomes big news when because you haven't shaven or taken the mustache off very often, but when you have, I think it's been in 3 films now, is it?
Yes,
You've not had a mustache?
Yes.
When I was doing my research for this interview, I was thinking, never before has facial hair been such a major thing. When you shave off the mustache, articles are written about it.
Oh yeah. Articles, and of course, and my children failed to recognize me. And they got scared, It's like I came without a mustache and they saw me.
Well, maybe it's a good way for you when you just want to have a normal life and go incognito. You just take off the mustache.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what I did when I did that film. Yeah. And one of the reasons I did it because I just didn't, I just was, in a way, I was going through a stage in my career where, obviously, every actor, every star wants to become the biggest star of his country, and by the grace of God, it happened. And after that, I just felt that now I should do something which work in films and do roles which will give me longevity.
Right.
Longevity as an actor, and started thinking as an actor. And I said the way I should do it is just, remove all these trappings and people which I'm known for. So I cut my hair, I shaved off my mustache. I lost weight for this role, a film called Lamhe, and people loved that film, and I did that film, and then the journey began of my career more as an actor than a star.
Right, and you see a difference there, because you often hear about movie stars versus movie actors.
Yeah.
And there does seem to be a difference, and I guess that defines it
You see,
there.
when I started my career, I just wanted to be an actor.
Right.
I just wanted to be an actor. Any role, bit roles. I started with bit roles.
Yeah.
I started almost like a background artist in a film and films, and then I did a few films, and I realized that no, yeah, I think I deserve something better. And then I became a leading man, and I got films to as a leading man, and I got some good characters, and the characters became very, very popular, and those characters made me into a star. Then made me into a superstar. And then I realized, no, I said, that's not my life is. I think, and I dream like an actor, not as a star. Right. So I said, I must go back to being an actor again. I started as an actor, I must go back to be an actor for my longevity. And that's the reason now it's 36 years. And since I'm acting since 1977, 78, and it's now 2030.
That's worth a round of applause. 36 years, at the very top of your game. At the very top of your profession. That is
I don't know about that, but I'll accept that.
You know what? I have lots more questions for you, but we've been talking about some of these films backstage. I was asking you, telling him about the clips, and I said, we're going to show some things that date back a few years. And I said, when's the last time do you think you saw some of these? And he said, I may never have seen some of these.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to see your reaction. I think watching the show right here is going to be as interesting as watching what's happening on the screen. No, we're going to see it right here. So I'm going to be watching you watch these, though, because I want to see your reaction.
Okay, great.
So let's roll the first clips. These are from Mr. India. and let's have a look. Let's see. Okay. And I'm curious. I want to see your reaction. What I love about these clips is that and this is how we're gonna show two films in each of these things.
Okay, great.
And what I like about these clips is that it shows the range of your work in such an interesting way. So the first clip we saw was sort of the more angry young man from Michelle. We saw the angry young man. And then obviously Mr. India, much more comedic role and stuff. And it seems sort of effortless to you to switch back and forth. My question would be, as we've just said, 36 years of doing this, what would you say to that actor today, 30 years on?
Well, that's Mashal was with the great Dilip Kumar. I remember I was very nervous, and I think I slightly over-prepared for that scene. I must tell you that.
In what way?
See, I think overall in the film, this is a scene which I was looking forward to. Right. And as a kid, because I just got this big, huge break, the biggest filmmaker in the country and greatest Indian actor, and I'm supposed to do this long monologue in front of this big star. And you know what I did that night? I stayed in the studio. I didn't go home before the scene. And I just stayed there. I wanted to get the feel of it, and I prepared for the role, and I was thinking about it, and I got thinking so much about the emotional memory of my parents and my mother and my father and what I went through as a character. I thought so much, and then I went to the slums and stayed that night. I just didn't even take a bath. I just wanted to feel like a worm from the gutters, which are the Bombay gutters. And by the time the actor came, he came late that day. And I was waiting for him. I said, when is he going to come? I'm completely dressed up, waiting for him. And I said, has he come? No, he hasn't come. Has he come? He hasn't come. And I'm worked up. I want to take out whatever I've learned, and I want to, throw my emotions out. And then he came, and then he ordered for a cup of tea, and then he started having his cup of tea. And I'm waiting, on the set. He's having a cup of tea. Then he went to the makeup room. They sent him the lines. And by the time he came to the set, and it was 12 o'clock at noon. And I've not slept the whole night. I'm preparing since so many days. And he comes at 12 o'clock. Great actor. Usually he's never late, but that day he was late. And he came, and the director had put the shot. And he said, camera, action. If you see the scene, the first few lines, I'm very comfortable. It's just flowing organically. And then I went blank. I just went completely blank because I was so over-prepared. I was so over-prepared. And so the moral of the story is that, which I learned after some time as an actor is, you must prepare a lot, I agree, but then suddenly you should forget everything about it. Just be relaxed, calm, and then perform instinctively.
Right.
And leave it to the director. So I think this is a case of over-preparation.
Which is, I guess, what you today would tell that actor. Go home, get a good night's sleep. Take a bath.
Absolutely. And let me complete this. Very quickly I'll complete it. And then I said, I want to reshoot this scene. And I insisted to the director. And the director is, Yash Chopra, he just expired last year. One of the, unbelievable. The reason I'm sitting in front of you today is, one of the reasons is because, he decided to sign me for the film. And we reshot a few portions of the scene.
Right.
And we tried to put those portions, and I said, no, I still feel, I think the original was better. Right. So this is the original, of course. And just one or two close-ups are the ones which we reshot.
Right.
The tight ones, I think that's what was jarring when I saw this now.
Well, it's interesting because of how close we were sitting here.
Yeah.
There's one scene in the long shot, you've got a tear, and in the close-up, there's no tear.
Tears, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is but of course, this film changed my life. I got, the film was not a success, but because I was working with such a, like working with Brando, and they said, well, after this film, I'm the next, big star, and my career took off. I was on the cover of every magazine. So this is what the history is about this film and this scene.
Well, because it's amazing how there can be like a hinge in your life where everything changes.
Yeah.
And this was it for you,
this film was.
Do you remember when you signed the contract for that? Did you have an inkling? Did you say, this is it? I mean, my life is going to be different.
Yes, I did. When I signed this film, I said, well, now this is the big one for me.
Right.
But on the premiere of this film, my life actually changed. Because two of the biggest filmmakers on the premiere night decided to cast me in the next two films.
Right.
Next films. One was Subhash Ghai, who was the #1 filmmaker at that time, and one was Feroz Khan. So I signed a film, Jambaz and Meri Jung. And both these films, they decided in their mind they're going to sign me. And that's the time I went to my wife, who was my girlfriend since 10 years, and who's my wife still. And we are together since 40 years now, 40 years. And she's my school child, sweetheart, and child. We were friends and became lovers and got married. And I proposed to her. I said, now nobody can stop me. Now I can afford to buy a small little house for you.
Right.
And so that was also like the premiere night. Me signing those two films was a turning point in my professional as well as my personal life.
Was it important for you to be successful before you proposed marriage?
Yes, it was. It was because I just felt that if I have to, you see, you can't live on just love and fresh air.
Yeah. You can try.
In today's world. Yeah. So it was very important for me to be a success and to look after my family and my wife. Mm-hmm. So when I felt that I will be able to, really look after her and be able to buy a house for us, for our family, which we're going to have after marriage. So that's the time I went and proposed to her. Otherwise, if I was not going to be a success, I promise you, I wouldn't have got married to her.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you signed on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. India is the film that made you a superstar.
What happens is in India, it's a very diverse country. It's so many states, so many languages, and every few miles there are people speak different language, and caste system, and it's a very complicated country, but it's one of the best and the most beautiful country in the world. Mm-hmm. And to be a success pan-India is the most difficult thing, because you have to cater. It's like the world. India is like a world by itself.
Right.
And and So Mr. India was the first film which became a huge blockbuster
Right.
from Kanyakumari to Srinagar. Pan India, worldwide, whoever can understand, you know, even if you don't understand the language,
Right.
people love the film. You know, if you keep the movie silent, if you see Mr. India without the dialogues, you'll still enjoy the film.
Well, that comes, I think, that's the connection from you and Charlie Chaplin.
Absolutely.
That's you and Charlie Chaplin. You grew up watching those films. Because I don't think that worldwide now that we have as many stars like Charlie Chaplin, because the work is so specific now. With sound, people have to understand it. They have to, they read subtitles. But Charlie Chaplin was a superstar in India as he was in North America, as he was because his humor and the work that he did was universal and understood by everyone.
Everyone, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Matter of fact, this film was a huge success in China also. And China, Russia, wherever the film released, Egypt. And, it was a big, big success because it was not, as you said, that, and of course, Charlie Chaplin he's God. He's unbelievable. And I agree with you that acting doesn't need words, it doesn't need language. It just, you have to express yourself and, people understand. And that's what Charlie Chaplin did.
Interesting, though, you say that you don't need language, but the lines "Hail Magambo" and "Magambo was pleased" have become catchphrases.
Absolutely.
Everybody knows if you say if you say those lines, people know what they mean and where they're from.
Mogambo Hoshua.
And now, when you were making that movie, because it seems to me that Mr. India is in that period seems a little different than the other films that you had made. Was that an effort to show your versatility or to appeal to a larger audience, or was it just another great job and you looked at the script and you said,
in a way, it was the
"Hail
first,
Magambo, this
first
is good."
superhero film. India's first superhero film, which really became such a huge. Now, quite a few of them have been made, but this was the first superhero film. Half the film I was invisible in the film because I get this power to become invisible.
With the watch.
With the watch, yeah. That's the watch which I was stealing. And of course, it was a script, and it was directed by the internationally known director Shekhar Kapoor, who directed Bandit Queen and Elizabeth. I think he was recognized at the Toronto Film Festival, also one of his films, I think. I saw his picture, and I felt really proud that when I entered the one of the galleries over here, I saw Shekhar Kapoor's photograph with the great Heath Ledger.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. So I think they did Four Feathers together, and
That's right. Yeah, it was Four Feathers. It was a great film. Yeah.
I'm an encyclopedia of films.
Yeah.
So he directed the film, and I remember that was one of his first successes also, and one of the first mainstream commercial films. And in India, there are no, we don't read scripts. We have narrations. The director and the writer comes and narrates the entire screenplay. So Shekhar Kapoor narrated the script.
So
of one of his films,
do they read it word for word, or do they just tell you what the
They tell you, yeah. Till today, yeah. That's the reason. As I said, I asked my agent in America. I said, David, you tell me if I'm going wrong or anything you think I should improve myself, because if I need to be doing some international films in Hollywood and all. I said, what are the things which I should do? He said, Anil, just read the scripts I send you.
I did not know that. That's an interesting, I mean, I think the difference is, I think that the similarities outweigh the differences between Hollywood and Bollywood and that, but I do think that some of the differences are so extreme, like that one, like the idea that sometimes you're working on more than one movie at a time, which I think, is not as common as it used to be. Is that right?
Yeah, now, yes. Now people, you see things are changing now. There were times when I shooting 5 films at a time.
And so at lunch you say, okay, I'm out of here and I'm going to go.
Absolutely, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you wrap your head around that?
Matter of fact, most of my shots in Mr. India I've taken after 2 o'clock in the night.
Really?
All my close-ups, yeah. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, because in the daytime I'm shooting some other film. Yeah.
And you may have been shooting a drama of some sort, but not necessarily anything related in any way. Right?
Absolutely, a cop, an engineer, a doctor in one film, or a kind of a delinquent in one film, and here I'm playing a sophisticated guy, and here I'm playing
Wasn't it ever
Chaplin's
confusing?
kind of role in Mr. India.
Did you ever show up on one film set and like, this is the one where I'm invisible, right?
No, actually, usually I say, oh, what's my name in this film?
Yeah.
The name is Arun in this film. Oh, sorry. Okay. So, yeah.
We're going to get to more clips in a second. I want to ask, you have said that you were an observant child and that you really soaked up mannerisms from people, watching them while you were at school and that kind of thing. And one of the questions that was given to me by, I went on Facebook and said, hey, I'm interviewing Anil Kapoor, and I got flooded with questions from people. This is one that people were very interested in. It came up over and over again. Do you still find inspiration for your roles in in everyday people that you meet?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And what do you take from them?
It depends. You see, what happens is, you meet. I'm basically a people's person. I love people.
Right.
I love meeting people. I love talking to them, learning, listening to them. Today I'm talking, but usually I'm a good listener. Right. Sorry. Yeah. So I, if you meet an interesting person, obviously it stays with you.
Yeah.
And you keep on observing. Subconscious, it's soaked inside your system. And then you recollect it, and then you try to, and matter of fact, today actors are lucky and fortunate that, you have the YouTube and you right. go on the net and you can do as many research, because I was doing 24 and I was doing Mission Impossible. So, and for these, it was, for me, I bought a few books. And when I was doing 24, I was playing this president of a Middle Eastern president, supposed to be Iran, but we didn't mention it was Iran.
Right.
So,
Omar Hassan.
Yeah, Omar Hassan. So I was playing Kamistan. So there was not a single Middle Eastern leader I could not really research. I went on the YouTube, I could hear their voice, I could go through their speeches, and their mannerism, the way they would get up, stand. So everything is there, references are there, and so it's very easy, it's good,
right.
It's great. So it really helped me. And so I went, Martin King Luther's speeches, and everything is there, Gandhiji's speeches. So I heard all these speeches, and it really helped me feel for the role, and get the, it's like a machinery. Every actor has his own craft, the way he prepares his roles.
And you have to keep that machinery oiled, I guess, by constantly.
And absolutely, I think machinery. I feel not only as an actor, even a star. Mm-hmm. You know why people say, I said, this one star, he comes and he looks like a star. And suddenly the same guy, after 20 years you see, or after 5 years, after 3 years, and suddenly he looks ordinary. Mm. I said, what happened to him? Why is he just lost his charm? Why is he not looking the way he used to look? Because not only as an actor that you have to work and prepare, even as a star, there is a certain scientific thing about a star also. There is something which is around you. There are some molecules which are there around you,
right.
Which if you really don't work and don't read, don't think,
right.
The kind of person you are, the kind of human being you are, everything is, you have to make yourself rich with everything, with the kind of, the way you lead your life.
Right.
And there are so many various things. If you don't do that, those little particles will keep on, don't look after yourself.
Right.
You start drinking, you become fat, you become, you don't look after, this is also one part of it. Mm-hmm. Not only physical, internal, physically you're working towards yourself, but even mentally, internally as a human being. All these things, if you stop working, suddenly the entire aura will disappear from your head. And suddenly that same person will start looking ordinary. He won't look like a star. So not only as an actor, as a star also, you have to keep on somewhere, I feel, working. It is a science, 100%. You're blessed, by the Almighty that there are millions of talented people. Well, a few of them in the world are chosen to be big stars, but somewhere there is work also around that, besides the destiny.
So you never take it for granted?
You can't take it for granted, yeah, absolutely, yeah. You must have heard there are so many stars who are there who are huge stars for 5 years and 7 years, and suddenly they are not. It's not only because the films have not done well, there are a lot of other reasons also. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're going to show you some more clips. These are from Tizab.
Oh, Tizab. Yeah.
And Parinda. We have a Tizab fan in the room here. So let's have a look at clip reel number 2, please. It's a good thing he's not a very good shot. Again, I love that we are pairing these clips because Tazab came out in 1988 and Parinda was 1989, nominated for, it was India's entry into Best Film at the Oscars that year. And I can't imagine two different performances,
Yeah.
from film to film.
Yeah, Tezab came much earlier. And of course, this film, as all of you made me from a star to a superstar, as all those words are coined in India, star, superstar, which I never really took it seriously. Till today, I never take it seriously because, these things, if you start taking it seriously, you start growing as an actor, as a person, as a human being, and I just don't take it seriously. So, but obviously, these kind of, they started saying I'm the #1 star of the country and all those kind of stuff started happening after Tezab. Tezab was something like Iron Man for Robert Downey Jr. or Top Gun for Tom Cruise, and like they made them into huge superstars. So this was one of those films, Tezab, where I sung this song. And Parinda was one of the films which I did was obviously in my career what I did was I always did mainstream commercial films, and then I would work with directors who were trying to make something totally different.
Right.
So Parinda was not a mainstream film. It was in those days, they used to say art film.
Right.
Of course, I corrupted the director and made him a bit commercial. And Vinod Chopra now, he's just did his first international film now in Los Angeles about just 2 months back. And so he's one of our fine technicians, fine directors. And so these are the two films, both became huge successes. And obviously they were also in a way turning points in my career, but both intelligent directors, sensible directors, and great roles for me, both the films. Yeah.
Do you have a style in which you feel more comfortable? Are you more comfortable in the style of doing something a little bit lighter like Tezab, or is Parinda more your where you feel comfortable with the more dramatic side?
None. None in a way. You see, I feel. I'm comfortable in everything, and I'm not comfortable. You see, it's you can't be comfortable doing anything as an actor. You have to be uncomfortable, and after going through that uncomfortability, I don't know if I'm saying the right way, and then you become comfortable.
Right.
So, of course, like for example, I did this song. I'm not a dancer, in a way. I forced the director on gunpoint that I want to, do this song. And the girl has already sung this song in the film, so I wanted to sing the song. And obviously I worked, I did rehearsed.
How long did it take to shoot that?
I shot for about 4 days.
Really?
Yeah,
to do the dancing?
Yeah, 4 days. Yeah. But I rehearsed for the song.
Right.
I used to rehearse, I rehearsed quite a bit for the song, because I'm not a dancer as such, but I want to do it. So, and for Parinda, obviously, we did a lot of workshops, and because the director, there were a lot of shots which were taken in one shot, and this is almost 25 years back, I think, 89, 86, 24, 25 years back, 20, over 20 years back. But they were young directors who had a certain vision and like-mindedness. I could understand them, and I could relate to them. So there was something which the youngsters of the country related to.
Right.
When these two films released. So, for you to really become a superstar, the teenagers should connect with you.
Oh, it's crucial.
So this is about 25 years. The teenagers of the country connected with me in a big way. They could identify with me. They could idolize me with these two films,
Right. Well, there's an interesting quote here that I think relates to something that you just said. You say, "I'm always ready to fail, to fall flat on my face."
Yeah.
And I guess that is what we see here with the diversity of clips, and we've got more clips coming, and you'll see even more diversity here.
Like, for example, Parinda was a suicidal film for me.
In what way?
Because I was the biggest star of the country, and there in this film, because it was a kind of not a mainstream film. And towards the end of the film, the other actor, who was my brother, and both of us are there, and we, and the main bad guy comes, and I'm making love to my wife, who was my girlfriend. I get married to her, I'm making love to her, and I'm completely naked. Both of us are completely naked. He comes with a machine gun and shoots us mercilessly. and we die over there without me putting up any resistance.
Right.
No resistance. No, heroes cannot do that.
Right.
Even if I'm naked,
Right.
even clothes can come on.
Yeah.
I can come and he's shooting and I can take the gun, take the gun and start shooting. You know. But over there, I'm just lying down and I've shot in the film and I did that film.
Right.
And all of them said, I said, you have the power, Anil. You have the power to change the climax because I was the one who was calling the shots in that film.
Right.
I said, no, when I accepted the film, this was the end. This is the script I've accepted. And as a professional, I'm going to do this. Mm-hmm. So in a way, people still remember this film and they remember me. And somewhere at that time, there was the entire media went against me. And the film, they said, could have been a much bigger success. It just did well in the cities.
Right.
In the small towns and the villages, the film tanked because their
They wanted the hero.
heroes were shot dead.
But do you think, regardless of that, it's probably a better film with the end that it has?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So these are the decisions and these are the reasons that I was ready to fail. So I've done so many films in my career in the last 30 years that I've done films which I feel can be disasters. But I did them and a few of them were. But there are a few of them which I took those risks and today they are timeless.
What do you feel, you say a few of them were, I'm not going to dwell on ones that didn't do well, but how does it make you feel? You've made almost 100 movies. When you have one that doesn't connect with an audience, how does that make you feel?
I just go to sleep. I wake up in the morning, I go for my shooting,
Right.
I give a good shot,
Yep.
and I forget about it.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm on to my next.
And that's something, I bet you, that the young actor in that first clip that we saw wouldn't have known to do. He would have been upset.
You're right.
You're right. Let's go. We've got a couple of more sets of clips, and I really want to get to them. Lamhe
Yes.
and Versatility.
Versatility, yes.
Yeah, so let's have a look at these because you got to see these. This is good stuff. Again, two very, very different performances there. The second one got you a Best Actor, Filmfare Award.
Yeah.
And somebody must have been hurt while you were shooting that fight scene.
Yeah. So, what's the difference between both the roles?
Pardon me?
Can you tell me what's the difference between both the roles? One is without the mustache and one is the mustache. Well,
that's what I was wondering. That's what it is.
yes. Now, these two films, of course, they were completely out of the box.
Right.
Mainstream superstars, stars don't do such films. Don't show off their mustache and don't do roles which are considered weak. Like the first film which I did, Lamhe, it was the audience in the masses would feel that he's a weak guy.
Well, it was controversial because you were in love with both the mother and the daughter.
Mother and daughter. Here I play this boy who's in love with this girl who is much elder to him. And he's very a kind of an introvert, and here he's trying to, getting prepared or preparing himself or getting wants to tell her that he loves her, but he cannot because he's so shy and very, very shy. And the other one, obviously, I played this character who is come from London, and he's forced to stay back, and he ultimately takes a decision to stay back in the village. He doesn't want to be part of the system of the village, where his father's head of the village, and of course doesn't believe in the violence of the village, and he's somewhere like a godfather, like what Brando is. And ultimately, I don't believe in violence. I want to do my own I'm in love with this girl. I want to settle down in London and carry on a life as an ordinary person, be happy. But ultimately, I get sucked into the system, and I become what my father was, looking after the village. So one was a very violent role, and becomes violent, and the other one was a very non-violent role. One was a very soft, person, very shy, and the other one ultimately has to, kill this person. So these two roles were completely diverse, and something which was a complete no-no for a star like me to do these two films. But both these films till today are become timeless in a way. Timeless, are supposed to be classics in a way. They don't look like, but they are.
Both these films won awards, although it says that Lamhe wasn't a huge hit. I guess, did you feel at the time that audiences wouldn't accept you in it, or were you trying to bring audiences along?
No, somewhere I knew that they won't accept it. And I felt that, but I had to do it. As I said, that I took this conscious decision in the late 90s or early 2000, that if I have to go on till 2013, right. I'm sitting in front of you, I have to do these kind of films.
Right.
I have to think about the longevity of my career rather than being just a star for 5 or 10 years or 20 years or 17 years. If I have to go on working like Clint Eastwood or Laurence Olivier or all these greats like Spencer Tracy who kept on working till they're, so I have to do these kind of films and these kind of roles.
Well, I was
told.
I
just, kept on slowly, trying to push my directors, the studios as we have over here, and convincing them that let me do these films. I said nobody's going to buy them, nobody's going to see them, but they became these two. One of them became a huge success.
Right.
So after the 3-4 films you do, one of them becomes a big success.
Right. Right.
And then you get a more opportunity to do more films like these. Right. So Virasat, which is the other one with the big mustache. I remember when I grew this mustache, everybody felt I was out of work. Yeah, because in India, you see, the thing is most of the actors put artificial hair or wig, or they don't become the character, or don't wear. So I grew this mustache, which was supposed to be a very so that I looked like a villager and looked like the character. So I remember that. So, but I'm happy that I did these two films. Yeah, I'm happy.
You mentioned Clint Eastwood and wanting to have a career. I have a little inside scoop. I went in the little store that's down here earlier. Apparently you were in there looking at the Clint Eastwood books earlier.
Do you have cameras, CCTV cameras?
No. I was told I have spies everywhere.
Yeah.
They tell me everything that goes on.
Yeah, I'm going to buy that book, yeah.
Yeah.
I said I'll buy it in LA. Why should I carry it from here?
That's right. We have one more clip reel. We're going to look at that. We'll come back, chat some more, and then I'm going to turn it over to you. And so I think that guy has at least 25 questions to ask. So let's have a look. This is 24, Slumdog Millionaire, and Mission Impossible. Let's have a look. I have to tell you that that last scene that we saw from Mission Impossible, that's how I think you really live. Make sure everyone has a glass of, whatever. That's what I think it's really like at the Kapoor household.
They changed the name of the champagne at the last moment because they were sponsor, they were giving money to the producers, and suddenly I said, they said you have to change the name of the champagne. I said, don't tell me. First of all, I'm doing this film in English.
Tom Cruise is staring at me.
And last one, you wanted me to change the name. I said, and then I kept on learning this. What was the name?
Cuvée something. Yeah.
It was, so they are the people who paid us.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Slumdog, there's a line in that scene that we just saw where you say, no one's come from the slums and become a millionaire except for me, or since me. And you didn't come from the slums, but you came from humble beginnings, yes. I think. So was that role personal in any way because of that?
Yeah, it was personal. As a matter of fact, I remember when I met Danny and I went through the script and I started working on the role. And I told Danny, Danny, I can identify with Jamal, because I was Jamal when I started my career.
Right.
I came from humble beginnings and I become like Prem. I became a huge star, and then sometimes the time comes when there's a youngster who comes and who threatens your position as a big star, and you're the number one star. So I've gone through all these emotions, and then you're nice to him, you patronize him, and suddenly you feel, oh God, You're being nice to him, patronizing him, and he's going to become a bigger star than you.
Right.
So all that, emotions which you go through as an actor, as a star, the sense of, competition and rivalry and jealousy, and we all go through that. We're normal human beings. So I could really, feel for this character, and I could really, so I remember Danny telling me, I said, Danny, Anil, because I want you to do workshops with this boy, and of course Dave, his mother was a huge fan of mine, and he was very much in awe of me when he was there. So, and that also helped him as an actor.
Right.
When he was sitting there on the, on the hot seat, and I'm supposed to be, trying to intimidate him.
Yeah.
So in a way, he was to a certain extent, and so for both of us, it helped. He, because he was a newcomer, and he looked up to me as a, and that's the reason I was casted for the film also. That, as I said, sometimes when you take those decisions of doing different kind of films, that helped me. Right. Because when Danny asked the casting directors that I need a star and an actor, and so she suggested my name. If I wouldn't have done those films, she wouldn't have suggested my name.
Right.
And so when he met me, and he felt that I'm the right choice for the role, that I could be the star and be the charismatic host as well. He needed an actor. You just take a star who doesn't know how to act, and you cannot perform this role which had so many layers, and and had so much of depth. And you don't know where he's going. Is he a bad guy? Is he a good guy? Is he a nice guy? Is he evil? Is he wicked? Is he being nice, really being nice to him? So there's a mystery in this character. So we tried to create that mystery. So I had to have all my experience. I used all my experiences as a human being, as an actor, to do this small role, which became big. And the film became a sensation.
Well, it did, and I was in the audience, probably one of the first audiences to see this movie here at the Toronto Film Festival. And the movie arrived at the festival like most. There's 360 movies that play here every year. It arrived, and it wasn't really on my radar. But I thought, this name sounds interesting, Danny Boyle. I go see it, and I've never seen an audience like that react to a film in the room like that. People were electrified by this movie, and then it just blew up from there. I mean, it must have been surprising a little bit, was it, for you?
Yeah, matter of fact, I've told this, I'm sure everybody knows that. I didn't know who Danny Boyle was.
That's right, yeah, I'd read that you didn't know who he was.
I didn't know who he was. My son told me that he's a big director, So I called one of my friends in LA. I said, Anil, he's huge. He's huge, you have to say yes.
Train spotting.
Yeah, train spotting. Train spotting. And I just knew that he directed, that he directed DiCaprio in Beach.
Yeah.
We all over the world, we general people, we have like any cinegoer remembers the stars.
Right.
Don't really remember the directors except for a Spielberg or in India. These are the directors who are really known over there. So I said yes, without reading the script, without really knowing what the role was, because my son had read the script and he loved the script and he loved my role as I did that film. So that's how I was in Slumdog. This is a scene, interesting scene. I remember this was the last day of the shooting of the film.
Really?
Yeah. This is not the only scene I've done. I did about 5 scenes that day. And, obviously the stock was getting over. There was no stock. Money was getting over. Everybody was homesick. Right. Everybody wanted to leave. And we had just had this one day and we had to can all these scenes. And the most important scenes were done in those in that few hours which we shot. The corridor scene, which is, after, and there's a corridor scene. There were 2, 3 other scenes which we did. And this was one of the most important scenes of the film.
Well,
which we,
The bee. The whole thing.
We couldn't get the bee in Mumbai. And ultimately he shot this bee in his bathroom in London.
Really?
Yeah. You just you're trying to, film it and get the bee and those, getting the steam and just couldn't get it.
Really?
Yeah, we just couldn't get it. And very well shot and brilliantly, I think, written and performed. And thanks to Danny, of course. It's him, He just never told me what to do. But I think something about him, the way he would direct you, a few of the directors, they really you can't explain how they really direct you, but in a very subconscious way, they're directing you, and it was wonderful meeting him, working under him, and knowing him as a human being, as a person. Yeah.
Well, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire became a phrase like Hail Magumbo.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's something that everyone walked out of that movie theater saying that.
As a matter of fact, the writer Simon and all the actors and all the people connected with the film, not only the audience, even we all had become like a family. So they would love to hear me speak.
Right.
And they always say, Anil, once more, can you say that? I said, what a player! And the way I said, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I said, what did I say? I just said, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? No, the way you sounds very exotic. I said, my bad pronunciation is sounding exotic.
No, amazing. I'm going to take questions from the audience now. We are recording this night. We'll get to you in a sec. We're recording the night, so your voice and possibly your image will be recorded. And we have two people with microphones on either side of the stage here. So put your hands up. I'll point to you. They will bring a microphone to you, and we'll get it all down on tape. I have to go here first. I can't. I can't let you wait
he's holding
any
this
longer.
flag. I must tell you about this flag. This IFA flag,
Yeah. So let's get a microphone right down here in front. Tell us what the flag is, because I don't know, and then tell us the question.
Yeah, IFA is, I came for this. It's like a Indian Oscars, and I came last 2 years back.
Yeah, 2 years ago when they had it. Yeah.
It was a huge success over here, and we had a great time.
And it was going to be in Vancouver. I'll get to you. And I know. Look at me, what I'm doing now. It was going to be in Vancouver, but now it's not going to be in Vancouver.
No,
this
it's not
year.
going to be in Vancouver.
Do you know where it will be next year?
That's a $1 million question. It might be in South Africa. It might be in Peru. You never know where.
It could be anywhere.
It could be anywhere. Yeah.
What's your question? What's your name and what's your question?
My name is Praveen Patel. First of all, I would like to thank on behalf of all audience of North America. Thanks for coming to Toronto. Before I start, could you say one more time, Anilji, please? Jackass!
Oh, God. I will say it, Please sit down. You intimidate me. Please sit down. Please sit down.
Come on,
sir. So, this is one film which I did, Yudh, and I spoke, and I just said something, Jackass, and it's stuck to me now. Wherever I go, they want me to say Jackass. Right. I'm going to say it for him. Jackass.
Thank you, sir.
Sit down.
All right, and we'll go here, and then I'll go over here, and we'll get the microphone down there. Go ahead.
Sir, my name is Moni. I'm pretty interested in your upcoming movie called Shootout at Wadala. So tell us a little more about it as to what made you choose that role of ACP Isaac Khan.
Isaac Bhagwan. It's based on a book, this story, and it's about the late 70s, middle 70s, where the gang wars in Mumbai were, and the gangs of Mumbai were taking over Mumbai, and it's that period of time, and then there was this. I play this ACP, a cop, a police officer who, takes on these gangsters in Mumbai, and ultimately, obviously, they have taken over Mumbai, and everybody's so threatened, and there's a fear of these gangsters, and they're taking law in their own hands, and so he goes to this commissioner, and that's the time the commissioner gives him a free hand to do these encounters. Right. I said, if you want to, you take the law, and the cops, this cop takes the law in his own hand, right, and starts killing these gangsters.
Sort of Dirty Harry type, maybe?
Yeah, but this is one of the first real encounter which took place where he killed the first gangster, Mania Surve. So I play this cop, Isaac Bhagwan, who's still alive. So it's the first time I'm doing a real life character, and I've been interacting with him. So it's an interesting, exciting film. I'm going to release on May 1st,
Do you feel responsibility to him to get it right, or is it
Yeah, matter
a
of fact,
different thing. I mean,
no,
it's a
no, yeah,
movie, so
no, more than me, he wants me to get it right.
we have another question. The microphone was given. Yeah, right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that lady. She can you give the question to her? Lady?
Yeah. Let's get the mic. We'll go to you next. We'll
Yeah.
get the microphone to you. We'll go here
Yeah.
with the
Okay.
microphone.
Hi, Mr. Anil Kapoor.
Where are you?
Right
Hello.
there.
Hi. My name is Chandni, and I believe in India we make three kinds of movies. Like in Bollywood, one has mass appeal, the other has the appeal to like critics, and the third.
Sorry?
The first one appeals to like the masses. The second has appeals to the critics, and the third one has NRI appeal. So I want to know like what kind of movies do you like doing, and you would be doing in the future.
I do films very instinctively. I just don't do films that is going to, appeal to the masses or going to appeal to the critics or going to appeal to the NRIs. I just do it instinctively. I feel at that moment, I read the script and I just take a decision. I think I must do this film. That's it.
Yeah.
If it appeals to the masses, I'm happy. If it appeals to the critic, I'm even more happier.
Yeah.
And if it appeals to the NRIs, fine, good, great for them, great for all of us.
We're going to get to everybody, so just or as many people as we can. There was a woman that you wanted to speak to. Was it
Yeah.
right there? Do you have the microphone? Were you given the microphone?
I think it was actually her.
Okay. Let's get the microphone over here, please. Yeah. Yeah. Right here. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Wendy Rockburn. I'm from Ottawa. I have been a Hindi film fan for a long time. I
See, I was right to choosing, wanted you.
I write reviews actually for a Montreal paper for Hindi films. And my question to you is, as a producer, there are a lot of films that Hindi films that can make it over here, crossover films that a Western audience would absolutely love to see, but there seems to be no drive on the part of the producers in India to make that crossover. And I was wondering, is there a real interest in India for the films to be successful in the West? Or because the market is so big there, they really don't
One of the
care?
reasons, yeah, actually you're right. One of the reasons that the market is so big and we are self-sufficient and I think that's what has made us lazy, I feel, somewhere in our thinking. Nobody really thinks globally. We think very nationally. We think very for our audience. But now the younger generation who have studied in Canada, in Toronto, Vancouver, in LA, New York, NYU. My children have studied. My son has studied from California, Chapman University. My daughter has studied in NYU. There's a friend of mine, his son is studying now in Canada. So now I think the younger generation is thinking globally. Yeah. So there are a lot of films somewhere. I think in the future you will find films which will cross over now. Yeah.
It seems like
they are thinking globally now.
more Indian directors are working in North America now than any other time that I can recall.
They're the ambition. They're becoming ambitious. Yeah, they want. Yeah, and matter of fact, whenever I get a chance, I speak to the filmmakers, and I said, we got such great content. We have talent. Why aren't you all thinking globally? Why can't you all think about original content, original films, not get influenced by any part of the world? Think original, and make films, and it'll reach out. We have the potential, we can do it. Obviously, first they were 4 years back, when I spoke to them, they would say, I'm sure they would say, no, we are very happy, we don't understand what, we're happy, and films are doing so well, making so much money is available, we have so many fans and all. But now I can see the hunger, see the hunger, yeah.
So things are changing.
Yeah.
Let's go. You go up there, and then Dan. We'll get another mic. We'll get to everyone. Just I'd like to wave at you too, but we'll get. There's a lot of people that want to ask questions, so we'll get up there.
That gentleman over there.
Yeah, gentleman over there.
Let's ask him a question before he goes to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you, gentleman.
Right there.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
right here
No, this gentleman, yeah, with the suit, yeah.
in the suit, right there.
Yeah.
Let's get the microphone to
Yeah.
him, and then while we're doing that, we're going to bring a microphone down
Yeah.
here, please.
Let me go to the
Hello,
lady
good
in the front.
evening, Anil Kapoor. This is Raghu Sharma here. I would like to know, all the superstars in India right now on the Facebook or the Twitter, and you're not there.
I'm not on Twitter yet, yeah.
So why not?
I don't know.
I know you're a busy man, but
No,
that's
my
the way we
daughter's
can
on
connect with
Twitter,
you,
and
through fans.
sorry, yeah,
As a
she's on
fan,
Twitter.
I'd
But
like to know.
I don't know. I just feel, yes, of course, I think, whatever I do, I want to do it well.
Right.
And so I just don't want to do it for the sake of doing it, because everybody's doing it. If I do go on Twitter, I have to have a very strong reason to communicate to my fans and who are not my fans also. There has to be, I should feel internally very convinced. So it has to come from within. So it's not come from within that I should be on Twitter. So when it comes from within and I do it, then I'll do it really well. Yeah, but at the moment, I
There
just
is,
don't feel
on
like that.
Facebook, there is a fan club for you that got in touch with me today. And they asked me to tell you that they are there and that they love you. And they wanted me to say hello. So, hello from the fan club.
Thank you.
Let's get a microphone right down here, please. And she's going to explode if we don't get to her right now. Thank you. And then up here, while we're doing this, another microphone right here to this guy right here, and then we'll go back and forth faster.
Hello, Mr. Kapoor. My name is Rekha. There's one movie, Lajja, which I can never get tired of watching.
Oh, oh.
Every time it comes on TV or if I have it, I just watch it right till the end. It has such a strong message. How did it affect you?
That film, yeah, it was about the women empowerment and about women coming, and taking a. Well, I think this director who directed me one of the films, Pukar, which won me the national award, which is the highest award in India. I don't know how we didn't, choose one of the clips from that film.
We could only show so much.
Yeah. So, when he was making this film and he asked me to do this film, and I did the film, and it's great. It's got a great message, and the film didn't do well at all. It was a disaster film, big flop. And sometimes, such films which are made with good intention don't do well, and you feel sad and unfortunate that it could not reach out to many people. But I'm happy you liked it. I'm going to share this with the director. Yeah.
Okay, we're up here. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, this is Mujib here.
Who?
Mujib Ahmed.
Where are you?
I'm
He's
here.
right
you can't see me?
there.
Yeah.
We're kind of blinded by the lights
yeah,
here,
yeah.
so
Get me a flashlight too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let me compliment you first that I've been watching your movies since my childhood, and I'm getting older and you're getting younger. And I just want to ask you that you do different kind of roles in the movies, like a police officer, doctor, and everything. And when we watch the movies, we get inspired, like we really wanted to do stuff for that. So do you really get in real lifetime to do those kind of roles in, get in lifetime?
Can you repeat the question? I couldn't really. Can you come in the front, please?
yeah. Come on down here, yeah.
Yeah.
I was asking, we get inspired.
Because there are a lot of questions quickly, yeah.
Yeah.
We get inspired with the movies, watching.
Hold the mic to you.
Yeah, different roles, like you do a police officer or
Yeah.
a doctor. We get inspired. So do you get inspired in your real life that I want to do these things for my country or the state?
100% I get inspired. I get inspired. Please go and see. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, I get inspired and motivated and by so many great people and so many people, ordinary people. Like I had met the great Dalai Lama recently, and I was really inspired and moved by, how selfless and what a great man he is. Yeah.
And the inspiration for you, I mean, still, having worked at such a high level for so long, the inspiration still...
Yeah, absolutely,
So
yeah.
Okay, we have the microphone up here and then over here, so go ahead.
Hello?
Yep.
How do you like working with Tom Cruise?
Oh, it was phenomenal, absolutely. It's fantastic, absolutely. I think I learned so much from him, and Tom Cruise is undoubtedly the biggest star of the world, and he is a machine. He's so hardworking, he's so professional, he's a great friend, and I have no words to describe how wonderful it was to work with him and you know, invite him to India, and he came to India and he just fell in love with India, and it was great. I learned so much from him. Yeah.
Were you there watching the Burj Khalifa scene which Tom Cruise did in Mission Impossible?
No, I wasn't there. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but I saw the rushes. Because I came to Dubai once. They'd already finished shooting for the film. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we've got the microphone up here.
Yeah.
Someone, go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. Kapoor. I think I had to really pinch myself when I saw you here. I've seen your movies since childhood, and there's hundreds of them. You're excellent actor. The variation has been so good, so different, from dancing on Ek Do Teen to great, powerful roles in Virasat. Looking back as an actor, what do you think is a role which you had done, you came back, the movie became a hit, and you went back and think now that if I were to do this role again, I would do a bigger, better job at it?
I think all the clippings which I saw today, all the clippings which I saw, I felt half the time I was hamming. And I can do better, much better. And except for a few moments. See, what I feel whenever I see a film, I just feel that in parts I'm good, in parts I could be better. And you see, I think that's what I think every actor should be, the hunger to become better and better. And that's what it is. So I feel I can do, when I look back, first of all, I don't look back. When I look back, I feel slightly embarrassed. And I see, oh God, how bad I am.
Well, you said to me earlier that there were some of these you may never have seen before.
Yeah, I've never, yeah. Like for the scene from Lame, I don't remember the scene. And some films I'm embarrassed, so I don't see them.
Go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. Kapoor. I'm Anam. Sorry, my heart's like racing as I speak. I'd just like to ask you, you spoke about films that changed your career. What roles was it that emotionally affected you or you personally felt so connected with?
Yeah, you see, there are quite a few films which connect, moved me emotionally, roles. Like, for example, when I did 24, and I did the role of this liberal president and who wants peace. And that affected me. And I felt that why all over the world people are fighting and having this war because of religion, and and it just, what is the reason this this war between Christianity and Islam going on since so many years? Why can't this end? Why this war between Hindus and Muslims, and what is this? So it affects me. It affects me, and these things really affect me. And so when I did this role, and I went through all the archive material, and there's certain roles affect you. Yeah. This is what affects me. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Dr. Tolia, one of the patrons of the festival for 25 years. Anyway, we saw your film here, Slumdog Millionaire, and it was phenomenal. The question that I really came here and want to ask you is that what's in the future for you for next 5 years? Are you going to go into film production, or are you going to have a further entry into the Hollywood? And what kind of scripts are you getting now that you could share with us?
See, I can tell you what I'm doing the next 1 year. So I have the film releasing Race on Friday. Mm-hmm. That's a commercial, mainstream, typical Bollywood film. This is so that my wife can shop. And my children can have a good time, so I can make that money. And then there's Shootout at Badala, which I'm playing this real life character, and then I'm making 24 in India.
That's happening.
24, that's happening. I start as soon as I go back. I start shooting. I play Jack Bauer. So this is, that's what I'm very excited about. So that's my debut into television. Fiction in India is not big. Nobody, it's very, it's not big at all. Mm-hmm. And the standard and the bar is too low. Right. It's not good at all. So I just felt that, when I used to see Indian television, I used to feel, oh God, why is Indian television, look at the television which is, in the West and in America, great performances, great writing, such great shows happening. And now if you see Homeland and so many other shows which are phenomenal, 30 Day Rock and these HBO films. And so I said, I have this opportunity that I am a mainstream big, star and I have this exposure to the West, so why don't I do this, and I'm taking a chance. Again, I'm taking a big risk because you see movie stars don't do television and don't do fiction. If they do, they do only reality shows. So I'm taking those risks, I'm doing this, so I might completely fall flat on my face, or this might be a turning point in television.
Again, yeah, another turning point.
And that's what I'm doing for the next 1 year. And of course, I don't really plan what I'm going to do the next 5 years. I just go very instinctively, very organically, and at the moment, my priority is my family, my children. So I can tell you what I'm going to do, what I have in my mind for my children and my wife.
Right.
And that's my priority now. Career, yes, it's very important. I love my job. I love being an actor, but my first priority at the moment is my family.
Is the struggle always to find a balance
No, there's no
between
struggle.
career and family?
No, there's no struggle at the moment. I've made up my mind. It's my family.
Right. We only have time for about 3 more questions. We're going to go right here.
First of all, thanks for coming. I know you must be very busy promoting Race 2. My question is that, to go back, you had mentioned it wasn't easy at the beginning. And I know you did movies. You did some Telugu movies, Mani Ratnam's first movie. And I don't know if this is true, but I had heard that at one point in time, you actually had to borrow money from Sunita ma'am when you were dating to take her out.
Absolutely.
I guess, so I have 2 parts to the question. One is, what kept you motivated during those lean years where things weren't going so well? And was there any time that you thought, if I'm not going to be an actor, I'm not going to be involved in films, what else would you have done?
You see, what I just, I was motivated and I pursued, and that's what I tell I said, if you dream and, dreams can come true, and the bigger you dream, and it can happen, and you can achieve it. You just have to pursue it. You have to be, I was like a horse, with blinkers. I just wanted to be, like I've met so many youngsters, they're confused, they want to do this also, they want to try this also, and nothing wrong in that also, but I was very blessed that I just wanted to be an actor. And I wanted to be a star. I just wanted to be an actor, face the camera, and perform for people, perform in front of people, perform in front of the cameras, anything to do as an actor. And I pursued my goals, and of course my wife was a big support because I was a beggar. I didn't have any money, and so obviously, so she supported me financially earlier stage of my life. And so that really was a great support, and she's still supporting me. Now she's taking revenge. So, see, I see you took money from me, I'm going to spend all your money now.
You've got another one right here?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Kapoor. Sorry, right here.
Yeah, go ahead. She's right there.
My question's a little bit more on a serious note.
Please, I want a serious question now. Do everything, I'm just, I'm a serious actor also.
Excellent. So my question is, I'm sure you've heard, obviously, as all of us have, the Delhi gang rape is a big topic in media today. And as a result of that, there's a lot of criticism on Bollywood and the influence that Bollywood has on the society, on the culture, and these types of things that are happening there. What would your comments be on that in terms of what you feel the influence Bollywood has or doesn't have, for that matter, on what's happening there right now?
I feel, it's not only in Bollywood, it's Hollywood also, like when, Gangster Squad released and this Tarantino's new film Django and all the killings which happen, and, these kind of violence and things which happen all over the world. And of course, they feel that films, to a certain extent, influence the minds of, people and youngsters especially. And I feel somewhere, I think films are the reflection of the society somewhere. It's not that we are, making up things. Somewhere it has really actually happened in history, or is happening in the present, or books have been written, and so there are certain films which are fiction also, but somewhere they are not just imagination. They're actually what's happened in the society. But yes, I agree that somewhere at least I feel we have a certain kind of moral responsibility, because we have the power to, to really reach out to so many people. So somewhere we should be slightly more conscious of what we are doing. I totally agree with that, but I don't agree that films are to be blamed for whatever bad which happens in society, because there are so many good things which happen in the film, and good things about relationships, about romance, about love, about patriotisms, but nobody really takes that seriously. So why this? So it's not the good or bad or whatever it is, and I think somewhere we ourselves have to change and look within ourselves and take decisions. Take as an individual also. If you find someone who's doing something wrong and you feel suspicious that this guy or this person is capable of doing which is harmful to the society or harmful to any humankind, you should make an effort to reach out to the police or reach out to someone to say that, and you stop that person. We also look away, so it's not the films, I think overall we have to, really within ourselves change to a certain extent and be a little more selfless rather than being selfish. World is becoming more and more insecure and selfish. That's one of the reasons that nobody really bothers to what's happening, and nobody really cares. There were times when we all were so friendly to all our neighbors, and you live in one community, and eat and drink and party and pray together, and everybody is very within themselves. Nobody really bothered what's happening, and nobody is interested. Nobody has the time. So that's one of the reasons also I feel somewhere it's us. We ourselves are to be blamed to a certain extent rather than blaming the films. Yeah.
We have time for one more question. Do it, and make it a good one.
First of all, Mr. Kapoor, welcome to Toronto. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me. And it's been wonderful. It's a great session which I've had here. I must thank all of you all and thank everybody, the organizers, and thank
my
the
pleasure.
great good-looking Jack. And what's the question? Yeah.
Well, first of all, my name is Sanaya, and this is my friend Mona, and this is my friend Can, and we were really happy to come out here and meet you today. My question is, we hear a lot about star tantrums, and I was wondering, without giving us any names, if you could share a star tantrum which even shocked you, star tantrum that even shocked you. We hear a lot about star tantrums, and my question is, was there a time where you were watching someone else who's a star and even you were like, oh my God, this person is over the top? You don't have to give us any names.
I think, I feel sometimes on a very lighter note, you need a few people who are stars who throw those tantrums. Otherwise, life will become so boring. Just to make life more exciting and show business more exciting. And somewhere you need all kinds of stars. And there are, stars who throw all kinds of tantrums, but nothing really shocks me. I'm shock-proof.
Well, I have to tell you, this has been anything but boring, and there were no star tantrums. You were amazing. It was such a pleasure to sit with you tonight. Thank you all for coming, and thank you so much.
Give me a hug.
Of course.